Good morning. Today we're talking about point slope form. This is another good form that we can use when we're given certain things. This is going to be helpful, especially if you're given a point and a slope like yesterday. We can get right to writing the equation faster, and it's just a good helpful trick to know when you're solving these types of problems. So here we go. Point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. If you look at it carefully, it looks pretty much exactly like the slope formula that we use to find slope. If you were to take the x minus the x1 and you were to divide it over here on this side, you would see that its slope equals y minus y over x minus x, which is how we find slope. So that's where it comes from. M is still just the slope, and then x1 and y1 is just a point on the line. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to use it to do the same type of equations we did yesterday with the slope-intercept form. Alright, so it says write the equation of the line in point slope form. Slope is 1/4 and 1, 2 is a point on the line. Now, this is going to be super simple because it's basically like just filling in the pieces of a puzzle. So, we're going to write down y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And now we're just filling in the pieces. So I'm going to write down y minus, well, my y value is 2. So I just put in a 2. Okay, m, my slope is 1/4. So I just write in the 1/4. And then I have x minus, my x value is 1. So all I have to do is just fill in the pieces. It's nice and simple. If I wanted to get this to slope-intercept form, then I could just solve it all the way for y. I would do distributive property and then add the 2 to the other side, and it would be in slope-intercept form if I needed it in that form. Alright, the next thing we're going to have to do is, if they ask us the same thing, write it in point slope form, but you're given 1, 6 and 2, 3 are on the line. So they give us 2 points, but they don't give us a slope. So just like we did yesterday, you're going to have to find the slope on your own, which means we're going to do 3 minus 6 over 2 minus 1, because it's y minus y over x minus x. So 3 minus the 6 is going to be negative 3. 2 minus the 1 is 1. So I get that my slope is negative 3. So now you just have to pick one of the points. It doesn't matter which one. You could pick one, your friend could pick another one, you would both be right. So if I pick the first point, I would write y minus 6 equals the slope is negative 3, and then x minus the 1. Okay, so if I picked the first point, that would be my answer. I could also pick the second point, and I would write it y minus 3 equals negative 3, because negative 3 is still my slope, and then I would write x minus 2. Alright, so that's that. Pretty nice and simple. If I had a question like this one, and it said the slope is 3, and I have negative 2, 4 is my point, then I would still do the same thing. I would write y minus, I put my 4 in, the slope is 3, and then I would write x minus, but since this x value is a negative 2, I would write minus a negative, and instead of leaving the minus a negative in there, I would change that to a plus. So if I see a plus in there, then I know that that was minus a negative, and so that point should have been a negative. Now, the tricky part for all this is going to be on the word problems. So, if you have a word problem, okay, like this one, it says Keisha is reading a 325-page book at a rate of 25 pages per day. Use a point-slope equation to determine whether she will finish reading the book in 10 days. Alright, so the biggest thing is here is we've got to figure out a point and a slope. Okay, so the slope is pretty easy to figure out. You're going to look for the word per. Could be miles per hour, feet per second, anything, dollars per shirt, something like that. In this case, it's going to be pages per day. Okay, so the 25 pages per day, and it tells us that that is the rate. Okay, so remember the slope is the same thing as a rate, the rate of change. So my slope is the 25, but remember, since I'm reading pages, and I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to have the book read or not, then that means that I'm going to write that this is a negative 25. So if Keisha's reading a 325 page book, okay, at day zero, that means she hasn't read anything. Okay, she's starting a 325 page book. So that means my point, my x and my y is day 0 is my x, and I have 325 pages left to read. Alright, so if I was going to write this as an equation, I would say y minus the 325 equals my slope, negative 25, and then x minus 0. Okay, so at day 0, I have 325 pages to read. Okay, my slope, because the y is determining whether she will finish reading the book in 10 days. Okay, days is going to be my x value, my input, the number of pages that I have left. Okay, that's going to be my y value, the number of pages that I have left. Okay, so we're trying to figure out, is Keisha going to be able to read this whole book? Alright, so if it tells me that she's going to try and finish reading it in 10 days, remember days is my x value, so I'm going to put 10 over here in for x. Okay, so 10 minus 0 is just 10, so I have negative 25 times 10. Over here I have y minus 325. So negative 25 times 10 is negative 250. Okay, over here I have y minus 325. So I'm going to add the 325 so that I can get the y by itself. So now I have this makes a 0. Y is going to equal negative 250, and positive 325 is going to make 75. So what does that mean? It means when the x value is 10, so after 10 days, she's going to have 75 pages left to read. Okay, so she's not going to finish the book. Alright, so this is just one example of how we can look at a word problem. We can figure out what the slope is, we can figure out what one of the points is, and then we can use point-slope form to answer if Keisha's going to finish reading her book or not. So, thanks for watching. Hope you're having a great day, and we'll see you next time.